Okay, so have you ever opened an app on your phone or maybe your tablet and it just, well, it doesn't quite fit?
Oh, definitely.
Like maybe buttons are pushed off the screen or the text is ridiculously tiny. You're forced to pinch and zoom all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating when that happens.
It really is, isn't it? So today we're actually going to dive into that exact problem. But from the developer's point of view, how do app creators manage to make their apps look, you know, perfect on any Android device? I mean, the variety out there is massive. Screen sizes, resolutions.
That's right. In this deep dive, well, it's our mission to understand the really clever solutions developers use to make that seamless experience happen for you. Specifically, we're going to focus on how they build responsive UI designs using a really powerful tool called the Android Studio Layout Editor.
The layout editor, okay.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating how they manage to get that consistency across the board.
And to help us figure this out, we're looking at insights from Responsive Android UI Design with Layout Editor by Saurav Pen Content Digital. Our goal is basically to pull out the most important bits of knowledge to understand how those really smooth, perfectly fitting app experiences get made.
Exactly, how they nail that perfect fit.
Right. Let's get into it. How does this actually happen? So maybe the first thing to ask is, the fundamental question. Why is this responsive design thing so crucial anyway? Why can't developers just make one version and, I don't know, hope for the best? Does it really matter that much?
Oh, it's absolutely essential. And yes, it makes a huge difference for the user. See, a responsive design ensures an app adapts smoothly to different screen dimensions, different orientations, portrait versus landscape,
Portrait, landscape.
and even different pixel densities. And this isn't just like about making it look pretty. It directly enhances the whole user experience. Well, when an app feels like it was tailor-made for your specific device, you're just more likely to engage with it, right, use it longer. And that actually translates into better app ratings on the Play Store. It's all connected.
Ah, okay. So it feels more intuitive.
Exactly. Intuitive and natural doesn't matter what Android device you happen to be holding. Think of it maybe like, I don't know, clothes that magically resize to fit whoever puts them on.
That's a great analogy.
And
Okay, I could definitely see why that's so important for keeping users happy. Nobody wants to wrestle with an app. So the why is clear. It's non-negotiable, really.
yeah.
Now, let's get into the how. Specifically, this tool you mentioned, the Android Studio Layout Editor, how does that help developers pull this off? What exactly is it? Is it really this intuitive visual thing, or is there still a lot of complexity hidden underneath?
It really is a powerful shortcut, and yeah, surprisingly intuitive for the complex problem it solves. The layout editor is basically designed to simplify what could otherwise be a really tedious, code-heavy process. So first off, a key feature is its drag-and-drop interface.
Drag and drop.
Yeah, this is a huge deal. Developers can literally just pull UI components, buttons, text fields, images, that kind of stuff onto their design canvas. They don't have to write all the complex XML code from scratch, at least not initially. It speeds up that first stage of design quite a bit.
So instead of typing lines and lines of code, you're visually placing things. Is it easy for developers to pick up?
For many, yeah, it feels pretty natural, and a really core part of it is its constraint layout support.
Constraint layout.
This is absolutely critical. Unlike older layout systems that were pretty rigid, constraint layout lets you define relationships between elements. You can say things like, okay, this button should always be 16 dp from the left edge of that text field, or its bottom edge should line up with this image.
So it's more like connections than fixed spots.
Exactly. You're building this flexible web of connections, not a static grid. That's what lets things naturally stretch and shrink based on the screen size. It's, well, foundational for making designs adaptive.
That sounds incredibly powerful. But are there common mistakes? Like, can you mess up those constraints easily? Or is it mostly foolproof?
It's powerful, definitely. But like any tool, you got to use it right. You still need to define those constraints clearly. If they're ambiguous, yeah, you can get unexpected results. But when used correctly, it's a massive help. Then there are the preview modes. These are incredibly useful.
Preview modes.
Yeah, developers can test their designs across all sorts of different screen resolutions, different Android versions, different themes, and they see it in real time.
Wow, okay.
So they can instantly see how their app will look on a tiny phone or a huge tablet or maybe an older Android version, all without needing shelves full of physical devices.
I can only imagine how painful it must have been before. Is there any catch, though? Are these previews always 100% accurate compared to a real phone?
They're fantastic, really good, but maybe not a complete substitute for testing on actual hardware. Real devices can have quirks, but honestly, they get you maybe 95% of the way there. It saves so much time. It also has something called split view. Split view.
Yeah, and this is great because it kind of solves a common developer need. Sometimes you want that visual feedback, the drag and drop, but other times you just need to dive into the raw XML code to tweak something specific, get fine-grained control. Split view shows both side by side.
Best of both worlds then. Visual design and code together.
Exactly. You tweak the code, see the visual change instantly, or vice versa. And finally, there's the theme and style editor. This lets you apply colors, fonts, overall themes directly within the editor itself.
Ah, for consistency.
Precisely. Keeps the look and feel consistent across the whole app, which is vital for making it look professional and polished.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense. We've got the why it's crucial for users and the what, this powerful layout editor tool. But knowing about the tool is one thing, using it effectively is another. So what are the key techniques, the practical tips developers actually use in the layout editor to build these truly responsive UIs, the ones that handle pretty much any device you throw at them? Great question. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. First, and honestly, we can't really stress this enough, using constraint layout. Again,
Right, back to constraint layout.
yeah, it's just paramount for creating those adaptive, fluid designs. It really is the foundation for making things adjust intelligently without a ton of manual work. Second, and this is a really critical insight, avoiding fixed dimensions.
Fixed dimensions, like saying a button is exactly 100 pixels wide.
Exactly like that. Instead of hard-coding specific pixel values for width or height, it's much, much better to use things like wrap content.
Per app content.
Yeah, that tells the element.
Hmm.
Be just big enough to fit whatever is inside you, like text or an icon. Or you use match parent, which tells it to fill up all the available space within your container.
Okay, so it's about being flexible, letting the content or the container decide the size.
Precisely. This makes sure elements resize smartly based on the screen, instead of being rigid and, well, breaking the layout on different screen sizes.
And what happens if you do use fixed pixels? Does it just look a bit off, or can it completely ruin the screen?
Oh, it can absolutely ruin it. Elements might overlap, get chopped off, vanish entirely on screens you didn't specifically design for. So yeah, it's a critical rule to follow. Another really vital tip is leveraging density-independent pixels, or DP.
DP. I think I've seen that in code snippets. What does it actually do?
Right, DP is a flexible unit. It scales automatically based on the screen's pixel density, basically. How many pixels are packed into a physical inch?
Okay. Why is that important?
Well, think about it. It ensures that, say, a button looks roughly the same physical size, whether you're viewing it on a phone with a super high-resolution screen or a tablet with a lower resolution one.
Ah, I see. So without DP, a button designed in pixels might look tiny on one screen and huge on another.
Exactly. You'd get a wildly inconsistent user experience. DP provides that visual consistency across device densities. It's about the perceived size, not the raw pixel count.
That's clever. A really neat solution.
It is. Then, developers also utilize guidelines and barriers.
Guidelines and barriers. What are those?
They're basically visual aids you can add within the layout editor. They aren't visible to the user, but they help align other UI components dynamically. You can constrain elements to these guidelines or barriers. So even if the screen size changes, elements maintain the relative positions and spacing, stops things from overlapping or drifting apart.
Like invisible rulers or magnets keeping things in place.
Kinda, yeah. Like invisible magnetic guides. Very useful for complex layouts. And finally, maybe the most practical tip. Test in multiple device configurations.
Back to testing.
Always. You absolutely have to use the inbuilt emulator in Android Studio and those preview options we talked about. Test thoroughly how the app looks and behaves on various screen sizes, different orientations, various densities, before it gets out to actual users.
It's the final check, making sure all those clever design choices actually hold up.
Exactly. It's the ultimate sanity check. Got to make sure it works in the wild.
This has been really illuminating. It feels like a peek behind a curtain we usually just take for granted. It's clear the Android Studio Layout Editor really does simplify and speed up the whole process of designing responsive UIs. A lot. By using these visual tools, developers can actually focus more on the creative side, right, and less on fiddly, tedious coding.
That's a huge part of it.
And ultimately, that leads to the kind of excellent user experiences we all want on our devices.
Yeah.
Apps that just feel right no matter what phone or tablet we're using.
Absolutely. It empowers developers to craft those experiences that just work for everyone, regardless of their hardware. What's fascinating here is thinking about where this goes next. If digital design tools are getting this good at adapting content to, well, countless screen variations, what could that kind of approach mean for other types of digital content, or maybe other experiences online? Or even just what other hidden layers of clever design are working behind the scenes in the seamless digital interactions you have every day? Something to maybe think about next time you use an app and just marvel because it works perfectly on your device.